Now let's look into the solving equations with the variables on both sides. So when you solve these equations, you see variables on the both side of the equation. So when you solve them, what you need to do is always, the technique is look for the smaller variable. So whatever the smaller variable, that's what you need to look at it. So out of these two, the first of all variable is right here, this one, and then this one. Okay? So the term with variable. Out of these two, the smallest one is 7. So I'm going to take away 7 here. So when I take away 7 here, or the 7n, you can say, and then here take away 7n here. So you end up with the negative 5. That's 3n, because 10 minus 7 is 3, but n, plus 13. But now since we subtract that one there, so we can subtract the 13 on this side. So what you can do, bring this 13 to the other side. So when you bring it to the other side, its positive becomes negative. So it's going to be negative 13 equal 3n. So negative 13, negative 5, it's going to be negative 18, it's 3n. But 3n means 3 times. So whenever you have a multiplication, we need to divide it. So we're going to divide it by 3, so that way we can have the variable side. So let's divide it by 3 on both sides. Let me change color. So divide by 3 on both sides. So you get the n equal, that's a negative 6. Okay. So when you do this question, just follow step by step. You see that my equal signs are aligned, so that way you don't get a confusion. Okay. See, one of the reasons is like we use this, look for the variable, which one is smaller. Okay. So variable with the smaller term, this 3n, right? So that's what you're going to subtract first. So I'm going to bring this one to the other side. That's going to be minus 3n.
Oh, because you're going to be able to subtract it. You'll just
that way you don't need to deal with the negative numbers. Okay. And then once you have that one, and then negative 2, you can take it to the other side. It's going to be positive 2. So then you get the answer. That's going to be 2n here. This is going to be 8 up here. And then 2 and 8 means divided by 2. That's 4. Okay. So when you look at this question, I see a parenthesis there. So you can draw the line. Now you do it. Oh, that's good. And then you distribute this in here, and also distribute the next one. So it's 5 times 2 is 10x, plus 5 times 1 is 5, equal 10x. Okay. Now when I see the 10x on both sides, I'm going to subtract that 10x. So I'm going to subtract it 10x here, and then 10x here. Guess what happens? This crossed out, and this also crossed out. So 10 minus 10 is 0, and then I end up with here is 5. 5 equals 0. Do you think it's 5 and 0 are the same? Are they equal? No, right? So they're not equal. That means whenever you see it's not equal, that means no solution. That's why you need to write it. Okay?
I'm kind of confused on
times in the math, you see some questions like that, equations. But it doesn't matter what number you take, you never get these two equations are equal. Okay? So that's times, we write it as is no solution. Okay? Make sense?
No, I'm confused on how you did. I know the answer.
That's good. So let's do this one quickly. The same question, let me explain it quickly. So you did that good. Now you wrote it 15, negative 15. And that's negative 10p here. And then this side is 13 minus 3p. So you can choose the variables, which side you want to send it. And then you send the other side the other ones. So if you want to send the variables to the other side, and the numbers to it has to go to the other side.
Will it always be that you bring the variable to this side, or you bring that one to the other side? Will it always be one side designated for variables and the other side designated for numbers?
That way it is easier. Okay?
No, it will always be the right side to variables.
No, it doesn't need to do that. It doesn't matter which side you send it, but make sure you switch the signs, because negative 15 becomes positive 15, plus 13, equal, this negative 3 becomes positive 3, 10p plus 3. So that gives you negative 7p, and this is going to be 828, and then you divide it by negative 7, it's going to be negative 4. But if you bring the, that's good, you can use that way, okay? So designate the whichever side you want to work with variables, which side of the you want to have the numbers. This one could be a different question, but let's first distribute it and then we can solve it. Watch this. So first step, I'm going to distribute it, the parentheses, and then I'm going to distribute the other parentheses. It's going to get me 6x plus 2, and then this side is 6x plus 2. When I see this equation, obviously I can say both of the sides are the same expression. So without doing anything, obviously I know that both of the 6x's will cancel. I'm going to subtract 6x here, and then I'm going to bring up 6x here, and that's going to cross out, and then left with the 2 equals 2. Or if we want to take away 2 here and 2 here, that's going to give me 0 equals 0. And I ask the question, is 0 equals 0? Yeah, it is correct. So that means it's infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. Whenever you have a 0 equals 0 or same expressions on the both sides, you write it infinite solutions. But if they are like a different question like this, 5 equals 0, no, then no solution. And in this case, it's infinite solutions. Those are the important conditions in math. No solution, infinite solutions, and one solution. You're going to see this one every time. Once you distribute here, you get a 14p plus 7 and 14p plus 7. So it's infinite solutions.